Hello everybody, we have finally made it here. Joey the Truth Wagner with you. Welcome in here to the Truth Serum, and this is our 2025 NFL postseason playoff bracket. We've made it, folks. 18 weeks of football, 272 games. And now we've made it to the time of year that we've been waiting months for, the postseason. So with that, I'll take you all the way through from Super Wildcard Weekend all the way to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, and I'll tell you who the winner of the big game will be and who will hoist the Lombardi Trophy. Be sure to click that like button, subscribe to the channel. In the AFC, Kansas City has the bye. In the NFC, Detroit has the bye. We will start with the Texans and the Chargers in the AFC. Year one of Jim Harbaugh has been producing fruit for LA. Really good defense. Justin Herbert has been Justin Herbert. And they have taken on their head coach's mentality. The Houston Texans won their division in year two as CJ Stroud, but took a step back, winning 10 games, but a lot of injuries. Two of their top receivers are hurt, and the middle of their offensive line isn't very good. With this, I will go with the LA Chargers. They'll win on the road, and they will move on to the divisional round in the era. Jim Harbaugh, a win in his first playoff game. LA wins over Houston. Next up, the Ravens and the Steelers. A matchup I've called many of times over the years and have seen constantly. Baltimore and Lamar Jackson looking as good as ever. The Steelers looking as bad as ever. Limping into the playoffs. A dead corpse has more energy than the Steelers coming into the playoffs. They have lost their last four. They have lost to Philadelphia, Baltimore, the Chiefs, and the Bengals. All of them ugly and bad. I think they're going to turn around here against the Ravens in a playoff game on the road? Folks, I'm a Steelers fan, but I'm not crazy. I'm going with the better coach, the better quarterback, and the home field advantage. Ravens win, in the stench of playoff losses for Mike Tomlin will continue. Next up, Buffalo and Denver. What a job by rookie quarterback Bo Nix, making the playoffs as a rookie with Sean Payton in that defense. But the Buffalo Bills are a whole different animal. Rout in Buffalo. Josh Allen and the Bills roll on. Let's go on to the NFC. Start with the 4-5 matchup over there that'll be played Monday night. Minnesota Vikings have won 14 games, but they're the 5 seed. They go to take on the Rams. LA will be rested. They rested their starters in Week 18. Folks, I know Minnesota looked terrible against Detroit on Sunday Night Football. Looked awful. But I have 16 great games from them and one game that's not good. And I think so highly of Kevin O'Connell that he is going to figure it out. The Vikings have the talent everywhere, offensively, defensively. Be a fun matchup between McVay and O'Connell, but I will go with the Vikings to win. So they will move on to the divisional round. Next up, Tampa Bay and Washington. What a job by Baker Mayfield coming back late to lead Tampa to the win that clinched them the division. And what a year in year one by Jaden Daniels. This will be one of the closer games of the weekend, everybody. Will be one of the closer games of the weekend here. I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with the Washington Commanders to go on the road. The poised Jaden Daniels going into Tampa, and they'll take down Baker. So how about them apples? In our last game wildcard weekend, Philadelphia, the number 2 seed, hosting Green Bay, the 7. Jalen Hurts has missed the last 2 games with a concussion. I would expect he would be back in clear protocol to play in this game. The Eagles' run game is what they do best, with Saquon Barkley over 2,000 yards rushing. And folks, the Eagles just bully you. Their defensive line and offensive line are just bullies. You can't. Green Bay wants to run the ball, but they're not going to be able to do anything on the inside because Jalen Carter is just a monster. He is just a one-man wrecking crew monster. He's a home wrecker on the inside, and you can't do anything. So I'll go with the Eagles to win that game. So, Wild Card Weekend winners will be Minnesota, Washington, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Baltimore, and the Bills. Next up, divisional round. Welcome back, everybody. This is the divisional round. The matchups are Minnesota at Philadelphia, Chargers at the Chiefs, Ravens at the Bills, and Washington at Detroit. We'll start with the Chargers and the Chiefs. It'll be the third meeting for the AFC rivals, Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh again. The Chiefs have won both games during the regular season, relatively close. Kansas City rested, healthy, coming off the bye. It does concern me that it'll be 24 days or so that Kansas City will have gone to this point without playing meaningful football. Is that a concern? Yes. Does that mean I'm going to go against Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, the best situational football team in the league in that defense? No. Kansas City will eke out a close defensive struggle over the LA Chargers, and the Chiefs will move on to the Arrowhead Championship. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I meant the AFC Championship. My bad. My bad on that one. Next up, Baltimore will head to Buffalo. The Ravens this season were the one team that was able to make Josh Allen and the Bills look really, really bad. They blew them out. They blew them out. But that was before Buffalo had Amari Cooper and a complete team with a passing game, and their run game has been strong. Folks, Buffalo's a complete team, and Baltimore is getting that way as well. This will be the hoot of the divisional round if these two teams meet up. Be a fantastic game. And I'm going to lean Buffalo. The Zay Flowers injury hurts Baltimore's pass game, and you can really zero in on the run if Zay Flowers isn't at 100%. So I will go with Buffalo, and we'll have another Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes AFC Championship game. Next up, we'll go to the NFC side. And everybody, the bracket had to be moved around due to the reseeding. Minnesota at Philly. And everyone, I love what the Vikings have done this year. Brian Flores is a guru on the defensive side of the ball. And what Kevin O'Connell has done with Sam Darnold has been unbelievable. But Minnesota's bad game against Detroit will give Vic Fangio, an elite DC who will take advantage of that, a blueprint to have success against Sam Darnold. This is his first time in the playoffs. The Eagles are experienced in this. I don't think Nick Sirianni does anything. I think he's just a rah-rah cheerleader who fights his own players and tries to fight other teams' players. And that's why Big Dom's on the sideline, to literally keep the head coach from fighting his own team and the opposition. I don't get it. The Eagles are completely talent-based, and their coordinators do everything. Eagles fans, if you want to tell me what Nick Sirianni does, I'll wait and listen. I don't know what he does at all. Other than cause chaos and be loud and fight people, I don't know. But the talent with Philadelphia is so strong. The lines of scrimmage will win it for the Eagles, and they will defeat Minnesota. Next up, Washington at Detroit. The Detroit Lions, the first time ever getting the number 1 seed and a first-round bye. They play the Washington Commanders. Folks, Dan Quinn has done a great job with that Washington defense, but he will run into a buzzsaw that they have not seen this year, and that is called Ben Johnson and the Detroit Lions offense. The Lions offense has their way with anybody, and Detroit is starting to get healthy on defense. As the playoffs go further along, they should get more pieces back for the postseason, so I will go with the Detroit Lions for the second year in a row to go back to the NFC Championship game. So that means championship weekend will be Philadelphia at Detroit and Buffalo at Kansas City. We're at Championship Sunday now, and matchups that would make the league salivate. Eagles at the Lions. Buffalo at Kansas City. Will start on the NFC side. Everybody, the Detroit Lions have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, and they are a team that I think could prevent the Eagles' defensive front from being man overboard. I trust Jared Goff as a quarterback much more than I do Jalen Hurts. Aaron Glenn has been able to piecework this defense through the regular season to win 15 games and have success after. What concerns me is Dan Campbell, and will his over-aggressiveness will the Lions beat themselves because of Dan Campbell's over-aggressiveness on fourth downs and passing up points when you might need it? That's a concern. What mitigates some of that concern? Nick Sirianni goes for it just as much, and he's reckless too. So that cancels out. This game will be full of going for it on fourth downs. And this game will be in Detroit, so it'll be climate controlled. Won't have to worry about a blizzard in Philadelphia. So I will go with the Detroit Lions to win over the Eagles and advance to the Super Bowl. Yes, I said it. The Detroit Lions will make the Super Bowl. Now let's go to the other side. Buffalo at Kansas City. These two teams met earlier regular season. I believe it was week 11. The game was in Buffalo, and the Bills won over the Chiefs 30-21. Buffalo won by 9. Josh Allen was just Superman in that game. And we'll have another Titanic Superman effort again by him and by Mahomes and everyone. I think Buffalo's really good. I think they're really, really, really good. I really do. Sean McDermott concerns me slightly with game management situations with Buffalo. Butker's the better kicker over Tyler Bass of the Bills. As we know from last year, Bass missed a short field goal, 44-yarder that would have tied the game in last year's playoffs. And everybody, until I see someone take down Kansas City, it's so hard to go against them. And they're going to go back to the Super Bowl again. In Super Bowl 59 will be the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs. One of the matches made in heaven for the National Football League. And now, everybody, we've made it to the big dance. Super Bowl 59, Detroit Lions, Kansas City Chiefs. If you look at this one, Kansas City has the head coach advantage. They have the quarterback advantage. They have the defense advantage. I'd say special teams is a wash, and offensive talent, I would lean, in terms of more explosive, the Detroit Lions. A lot of this will determine is the Lions, if they're able to get this far, how many of their injured players will they get back? And folks, throughout these playoffs, I've been concerned about Dan Campbell and his over-aggressiveness. I didn't think it would bite against Philadelphia because Nick Sirianni is just as reckless and clueless. But this is a game where it could come back to bite. And everyone, I've been watching the Lions all year. I'm not a Lions fan, but I've been rooting for Detroit any chance I've seen them, and I'm so impressed with how they've been able to turn everything around. Sadly, I think this is where the road ends. The over-aggressiveness and recklessness of game management from Dan Campbell cost them in the NFC Championship game last season against a more disciplined San Francisco 49ers team. And I think it comes back to bite here against Andy Reid and the Chiefs. This is a team that makes you pay for every single mistake that you make. If you don't play perfect against them, you don't win. And because of that, the dynasty will continue, and we will witness history, the first ever three-peat in NFL history. Your Super Bowl 59 champions, the Kansas City Chiefs.